Pure FM.
Jessica, if I start with you, can you tell me a little bit about the study?
The Sleep Council's just conducted a new study into stress and sleep, and the findings are a little bit startling. 90% of us apparently are suffering from stress at one point or another, and as many as in the northwest, 40% say they are regularly, frequently or always stressed, which is really rather worrying. Because when we're stressed, 3/4 of us have trouble sleeping. But stress is also, as well as being, or lack of sleep as well as being a symptom of stress, is also a cause of stress, because at any one time a third of people will actually tell you that if they can't sleep, they get stressed as well.
And why is it that sort of stress and sleep problems seem to be so commonplace today?
I think the challenge is the pace of life that we live in. In modern society, we're always on. From the moment we wake up, we pick up our mobile phone or our laptops. We've got our text messages and emails and social media channels that are churning information to us at a rate of knots. The pace of life is increasing day by day. The way we live our lives today is very different to how we did even 10 or 12 years ago. It's only been about 7 or 8 years since the iPhone was created, only about 10 years since we've had BlackBerries, only about 5 years since we've had tablet computers. So, the pace of life, the technology, the relentless demands many of us are under are on a day-to-day basis continuing to increase our stress levels to the point where many of us are getting to the stage where we can't cope anymore and we are bowing and buckling under excessive pressure.
And a number of health professionals say that September is a particularly stressful time of the year, perhaps more so than other months. Why do you think that is?
September has been identified in our survey as a problem area, and we think the reason for that is that it's the end of the summer, the end of the holidays, and people are going back. Kids are going back to school, people are going back to work. Everything gets busier. There's a long stretch ahead of us before we get to the next break, to Christmas, which in itself is stressful. So it really is the start of September is really the start of the stress calendar as it mounts up into the winter months. And it's all about coping with increased pressure, increased things to do, and also a lot of change, which can lead people to feel stressed out.
And back to you, Neil. What is the link then between stress and sleepless nights?
This is an interesting point because, as Jessica's already said, that stress is both a symptom and a cause of stress. If you're stressed, you can't sleep well at night. But equally, if you've not had a good night's sleep, then you're going to feel stressed. Many people suffer from what I would describe as the Roadrunner effect. You know, Roadrunner, the cartoon, it runs around the desert at 1,000 miles an hour. When Wile E. Coyote's laid a trap and he runs up to that trap at full pelt, when he stops, his feet stop, but his body will be reverberating backwards and forwards at 1,000 miles an hour, like an arrow when it hits the target. Now, that's what many people in modern life experience. We rush around during the course of the day. We're rushing from job to job, meeting to meeting. And if not physically rushing around, we're having to write that email, work on that report, rushing to look after the kids, make tea, social activities, exercise, got the television on, the BlackBerry, the laptop, on Facebook, Twitter. And all of this stuff is forcing us to think faster, to process more and more information. Then we get into bed. The body's come to a stop. What's the brain doing? Still going off at 1,000 miles an hour, experiencing, as I've described, the Roadrunner effect. It is next to impossible to fall asleep when your brain is still ticking over at that kind of a relentless pace. So we need to do one of two things. Either, number one, we take some time to slow down before we go to bed, or if we do find ourselves in bed and the brain is still running over at 1,000 miles an hour, taking some time to whether that means getting out of bed and taking some time to unwind, or sitting down and writing up all the things that are bothering you on your mind and get them off, make some lists, get them off your mind, and then you can start to relax. Because, as I said, it is next to impossible to fall asleep, or if you do fall asleep, the depth and the quality of your sleep will be compromised. You get your 7 or 8 hours of sleep, but you wake up in the morning feeling like you've not slept at all. And this is a very serious issue.
And back to you, Jessica. So, aside from that, are there any other methods that people can use to try and get their stress levels under control and get a good night's sleep, or as Neil summed it up perfectly there?
I think the two are quite interlinked in terms of techniques that you can use, because if you are relaxed, if you're not stressed, you're obviously going to find it much easier to sleep. So I think it's really important, to eat well, to get some exercise during the day, all helps with your stress levels. But definitely you need to, just as with a child you have a bedtime routine, I think as us adults we tend to think we don't need that, but we do. We need a wind-down routine. We need to put the stresses and strains of the day to one side for half an hour to an hour before we go to bed. And we shouldn't take all of our daytime activities into the bedroom. We should have the perfect sleep environment. It should be cool, quiet, dark, comfy bed, all of those factors, uncluttered. These things, relaxation, routine, the right environment really do help to kind of set you up better for sleep.
Some fantastic advice and information there. But finally, where can people go to find out more?
The Sleep Council's website, sleepcouncil.org, has lots of tips and advice on sleep, and we've just put under /Nodcasts a range of nice relaxing sounds which might help people to de-stress as well. And the Stress Management Society has a very useful website with lots of tips and advice on coping with stress at stress.org.uk.
Excellent. Jessica Alexander and Neil Shah, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank